And you thought I was gonna upload every week for some time. So do you want to know how to adult?
Yeah!
Well, good sirs, madams, and lizard monsters, I am going to give you the ultimate formula to become a well-productive, well-mannered, and appropriate member of society. Step 1. Get a job. Does it have to be a certain kind of job? Yes, because professional cuddler is not a high-paying occupation. Actually, it says here that I can make up to $80. You're a prostitute, Annie! You are a disgrace to the Norse gods! Now, you might have heard your parents talking about real jobs, which is practically any profession that will pay you above $40,000 a year or well into the high upper class region of the United States. But I can do that as a stripper. Go back to your poll, Annie. Now, this doesn't include professions such as sex work because adults don't like to make their parents disappointed. My parents are dead, just like my faith in you, Annie. Drug dealing is acceptable. Oh, okay, so I can make people overdose on coke, but I can't give them endorphins? No, you give them oxytocin as a legal drug dealer. Geez, Annie, haven't you ever heard of what pharmaceuticals are? I mean, you could also be like a meth dealer or something, but there's a good likelihood that you're going to get shot at. Like if you're a police officer. Shut the fuck up, Annie. Once you have a real job, you can move on to step 2. Move out. But what if you're like going to school for your PhD and you don't want to move out until you finished your degree? Then you have alternative step 2, which is find several other places to live. It may very well be a park bench, or the inside of a McDonald's restroom, or your neighbor's rose bushes. But the point is, you are out of your parents' house and you are doing your own thing. You literally come back to this place for like 2 days out of the week just to wash your laundry, and you're not an adult. Bitch, I didn't ask you. And I do laundry at my other house. Okay, so once that's settled, you can move on to step 3. Find a mate. You know, Hayley, I'm pretty sure at this point that plenty of people have established a stable significant other because they're a lot better at holding on to romantic relationships than you. I left my ex-boyfriends because they are not at the same level of adulting that I was at. They left you. Barely. You cried for months. I cried because I was disappointed in myself that I allowed myself to be manipulated into relationships with children. Everyone you have dated has been older than you. I mean, I have reached more of an adulty phase in the hierarchy. When you met your first boyfriend, you didn't have a job and you stayed here 80% of the time, where he held on to a full-time job for years and he hadn't moved out. Fuck you, Annie, God! So find a mate who isn't a total dick like Annie, and then you can move on to the next fucking step, which is get married. You know, not all of us want to get married. Fine, then you can get married or something. What does that even mean? It just means that you can establish a loving, caring relationship with somebody other than on paper. Or something. What? You can establish a loving, caring relationship with, like, I don't know, your dog. Maybe some people want to live alone. God, Annie, you're into bestiality? That's sick! That's not what I said! Go to your room! You're not my mom! Yeah, she's dead, so I'm your mom now! Step 5, I think. Bury your loved ones. What? Okay, look, people are going to die off one by one now. You're middle-aged, people get sick and die, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. It isn't average for people to die in their middle age. It is if you pay someone to kill them all. What? What? So you have a lot of emotional growing at this time. You learn a lot about love, life, and death. And that's all part of the adult experience. So that's how you become adult. You get a job, you move out, you find someone to love for the rest of your life, and you watch people die. That's what you consider someone who's become an adult. No, you have to kill a man first. Wait, what? What? Stop that! Quit interrupting. I'm talking to the audience. There's actually one final step in adult life that I forgot to mention, so step 3.5. So we're literally just skipping around wherever we want. Shut it, Annie! Step 3.5, learn to cook. Well, at least there's no murder involved. Well, how do you think you make your first meal as an adult? With your newborn. What? You know, caviar. It's a delicacy. Newborn fish eggs. That's what you must have as your first meal as an adult. What if you don't like caviar? Obviously your firstborn son, Annie. God, have you not been listening to me this entire time? First you gotta cut off the limbs, and then you gotta fry the liver and the brain. Whoa, whoa, Hayley! That's morbid. People don't want to listen to your filth. If they didn't, my slam poem would not be so popular now, would it? Yeah. So if for some reason you can't accomplish these things, does this mean that you're not an adult? Of course not. It just means that you're 35 and you stayed into your parents' house until they died of natural causes, and then you became an adult cannibal in order to survive. Those weren't merely boys in The Lord of the Flies. On that island, they became men. cannibals are people too. There's a reason why I was wearing wigs, and it's because my hair is ratchet AF, and I'm only doing this because I want documented hair journey proof on the way to becoming silver. So yeah, this is the color that it's at now, just so you know.